Welcome back to our channel. We want to thank you for joining. If you are joining for the first time, I appreciate your time. It is important for us to turn a little bit of attention to the country of Russia. What's happening there at the moment? If you look at Russia, considering the victory parade, these are strategic time in that country's history and the global geopolitical environment. Here we talk geopolitics on how Africa engaged strategic partners from around the world. The revolutionary leader from the country of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, have arrived in Moscow as well. It is vital to know that the relationship between the country of Russia and that of the country of Burkina Faso, all across the countries across the Sahel region, is not going anywhere soon. Let no one fool you. It's important to know that a special plane was used to transport the leader of Burkina Faso to the country of Russia. Why is this event so important? It is important because first, I want you to pay attention. There are two things happening here. There is a Victory Day parade and there is also a geopolitical projection of power and strength. Make no mistake, the United States of America is observing very closely. Countries that are attending this particular event are geostrategic partner and a number of countries from global south countries. The country of Russia is basically using this particular event to project power, to send a message to the country of the United States and geopolitical partners across the world and Europe in particular that we are not isolated. We are not alone. We do have strategic partners. We can also flex our muscle and we can move beyond your expectation. So that's what we see happening in the country of Russia at the moment, as we see leaders from other countries that the United States of America and its strategic partner may consider not allies. So these are critical times in the world's history as we observe the continent of Africa feeling the pressure, and more importantly, we see different countries around the world are observing what's going on in Russia at the moment. It's important to know that from the African's perspective, that this particular parade project power shows that their geostrategic partner, which is Russia at the moment, and the economic strategic partner, which is China to an extent, it's important that these two countries coming together to talk on a whole lot of things. And it comes at a time that the world is basically taking some fresh air. I would say a little bit of a break from the United States of America's tariff that have plunged the global markets into chaos. And more importantly, African countries have started realizing that it's not going to be business as usual. They have to start looking for new partners in Asia, in South America, and also across the continent of Africa's Jew community as well. And also other fringe powers in the Middle East that are looking to work alongside the continent of African nations. However, African countries have decided that they want to look inward to an extent. But this Victory Parade Day is important because it sends a strong signal that to an extent that Russia can flex its muscle, and the United States of America and European powers are paying closer attention on what's going on.
Russian President and Chinese President met in Moscow on Thursday to reaffirm and expand their strategic partnership in the face of intensifying Western pressure. During a high-profile summit that coincided with Russia's Victory Day celebrations, the two leaders signed a joint statement pledging to significantly boost trade and investment by 2030. In our joint statement with President Xi Jinping, we have set ambitious goals. In particular, it concerns ensuring significant and qualitative progress in Russian and Chinese trade and investment by 2030, increasing the scale and improving the structure of economic ties by raising the share of high-tech products, developing innovative methods of e-commerce, and ensuring mutual supply of basic materials, mineral resources, and agricultural goods. Xi, for his part, emphasized a broader geopolitical vision, framing the deepening cooperation as a joint stand against what he called a growing international trend of unilateralism and power bullying.
With the Russian-Ukrainian war going on at the moment, and the continent of Africa has been dragged into regards to taking sides, it is important to know that African countries like from Zimbabwe and a whole lot of other countries which are strategic partner for the country of Russia will be attending this particular event. Make no mistake, This is a very important time in the country of Russian history as a result of this victory parade day that was used to defeat the Nazi. It is important that Africa's geopolitical partners like the European Union and European countries understand the importance of this day because, make no error, despite the current geopolitical tension around the world, Russia projected power at the time and to the defeat of the Nazi. It's important to know that this is celebrated every year in the country of Russia.
As stable and progressive forces in the international community, China and Russia will continue to stand together, firmly safeguard the international system with the United Nations as its core and international order based on international law. Meanwhile, unconfirmed reports from Ukraine last month alleged that 2 Chinese nationals were captured fighting alongside Russian troops, with claims that over 150 others might be operating as mercenaries.
And now, why is this special this particular time? Well, it is special because Russia is simply saying that, hey, you thought we are alone, you thought we are isolated, you thought we do not have partners or collaborators to work together in several areas. That's the reason why this current event is so important and a lot of leaders coming from around the world. Listen, make no error, the country of Russia and China are projecting power at this particular event to show the United States of America that despite your particular shenanigans regards to tariffs and isolation and protectionism and a whole lot of things that are happening at the moment, we are working really closely to move forward in regards to how we diversify our partnerships as we see leaders coming from Southeast Asian countries, from Africa, and other countries across the world. So it's important to note that this particular meeting will also see memorandum of understanding being signed in the closed doors and a whole lot of other very important things. I think it's an opportunity for global powers to take a little bit of break from the tariffs that we've seen, global tension the past couple of weeks. It's not done yet, but we still see what's going to happen. So it's important to know that the global media is covering this from a whole different perspective. Let's play that here with the France 24 news channel that sees it from another strategic angle.
Now, China's President Xi Jinping is in Russia as the country gears up to commemorate Victory Day tomorrow. Earlier, he met with the Russian President Vladimir Putin, and the two sides pledged to make their bilateral relations more mature and resilient. Putin is using the 80th anniversary of the end of the war to once again demonstrate to the world that he isn't isolated on the world stage, with leaders from Brazil, Indonesia, and Egypt also present. For more on all of this, we can bring in our foreign affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert. Doug, great to see you. We have a very different type of commemoration which will be taking place in Moscow tomorrow.
Extremely different. The Victory Day Parade, as you rightly said, this is the most patriotic day on the Russian calendar. It has traditionally, for the past 80 years, really been used as a celebration, a commemoration of the Soviet Union's then defeat of Nazi forces at the end of World War II. And you'd have thousands, if not millions, turning onto the streets across Russia to celebrate. What you have essentially this year, and you've had it in recent years, really since the Ukraine war, Russia's invasion, you've had Vladimir Putin co-opting this holiday, reinventing it for his own purposes, reinventing it in order to both boost unity, boost loyalty to himself, and showcase Russian unity as well.
So Russia and the countries across the continent of Africa, especially the Sahel nations, this relationship is growing stronger and stronger, and this particular Victory Parade Day is observed very closely, more than ever before or more than any other particular event that has taken place in Russia, because it comes at a time when the global international environment is very tense, is hot, and Africa felt the heat so far, and the continent is making strategic decisions, choosing partners that provide basically support for them and to navigate this current trend that we all are seeing as we see South Africa came under tremendous pressure, Egypt, Djibouti, and also including even the little country of Lesotho. So it's important.
There are two components here. There's a foreign message that Russia's sending. There's a domestic message. I'll start with the foreign part. He's invited the leaders of several dozen countries, most of them autocracies or very repressive oppressive regimes. We're going from Myanmar to Venezuela to the Republic of Congo to Cuba. An outlier is Brazil. Lula is gonna be there as well. And even among Europe, you have one EU member, the Prime Minister of Slovakia, Robert Fico, is going to be there. The Serbian president, Serbia wants to be a member of the EU. That president's attending as well, has been given warning by the EU. It has a chance of jeopardizing its EU membership chances if it shows up. But generally, Putin trying to thumb his nose at the West, in general, Europe and the West, saying, nah. You thought you could isolate us. You thought you could make us a pariah on the world stage. Not only haven't you done that, look at all the world leaders that are coming to celebrate the victory. And look, historically, it was an incredible, more than a contribution. Tens of millions, 25 to 30 million Soviet soldiers died in the fight against Hitler's Nazi Germany. So a massive contribution, but Putin has warped it, has really warped it in his own image for his own political, domestic, and foreign purposes. On the domestic front, the message is for propaganda purposes. He's basically saying, remember that war we fought against the Nazis and Europe in World War II, that war that we so valiantly won, we Soviets. We are fighting the same war against Nazis today in Europe and the West. Now, you see behind me, that is Stalin, Churchill, and Roosevelt at the Yalta Conference in February 1945. And what you essentially see here is the message. They met there after World War II, basically, to carve up the New World Order, to decide how Europe would work emerging from this war after the surrender, the defeat of Germany. This was a few months actually before the formal, the Victory Day. But the Yalta Conference shaped a new world order, and essentially Putin sees himself today using this as one of the tools in his arsenal, as he sees it, shaping his own new world order. Whereas the West sees Russia as isolated, as a pariah that's waging a pointless, horrific, atrocious war against a sovereign nation and hurting his own country in the process. He sees himself as building a new image for Russia against a debauched, decadent West that is actually the weak party in this. I'm the strong party. And being there with Xi Jinping besides him is meant to project that strength, that unified image.
Leave me a comment and let me know what you think in regards to how you see this particular event in Russia and how the president of the country of Russia and China have used this as an event to basically strengthen their relationship. I will be looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye-bye.